Hey, we're live. Nothing
What's going
special tonight. No. You know what? Here, we'll do it for you. No, I don't have any short intros. Here.
What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. And real quick, before we get started,
I mean, let's give them the best intro.
Yeah.
why not? Why not? Why not? I deserved it. I earned it.
You sure did, brother. You sure did.
Oh,
All right.
man.
So we just watched episode 3. We're nearly halfway done with the series. I'm going to say halfway done with the series. I don't think we're going to get a second season of this. I think this is a limited series.
Yeah.
So, Nick, let's let Knee Pain kick us off with his thoughts on the episode. Then we'll go to the DA, and then, Nick, everybody here knows how much you love it. So
My favorite.
try to keep that bottled in, okay? All right. Knee Pain, what did you think?
Right out of the gate, 6 out of 10. I didn't hate it. Wasn't offended. So the whole moms thing everyone got worked up about, this was a big nothing burger. This reminded me of the Capra. So remember that show Caprica back in 2005? That spinoff from Battlestar Galactica. There was like one episode where there's a little snippet where, one of the lead characters is with his husband, but they didn't focus the episode around. So no mention of it. It is what it is, right? And I was like, okay, this is literally nothing. I don't mind. And they did spend a whole lot of time on the parents. I hope they kind of get past the nods.
Hey.
All like, look all this. Yeah.
I just want to say before you keep going, I'm going to lose my train of thought.
Yeah.
I forgot that this was the episode where we're getting the two mothers.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice it. I need to go back and look at it again. It did not even hit me.
Because it did it right. They did it right. It wasn't up in your face. They did it right. Yeah. And so,
so you're saying it was there. It just didn't. I just didn't recognize it.
No, then right at the beginning. So, at least it appeared to be. They didn't even make a mention.
Yeah.
Right. It was kind of like you're just drawing an assumption that was the moms. So, yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, they mention it that, those are our kids, or that's my kid or something like that. Like both of the sets of parents say that, but it's like, okay, it was there, and then you move on. They didn't really dwell on it. So that's
it could have been. It could have been her sister. Right.
Like, they're sitting there like kind of right next to each other. Could have been her aunt and her mother. Yeah, exactly. You never know.
Yeah, really, it didn't really say explicitly. So who knows? They're doing some of the Star Wars nods, which is I hope they kind of get over that part, which is like, the Jawas, the Federation. It's like, listen, we already know this is Star Wars. You don't have to keep putting the nods in like you've done the past couple episodes. Now make it its own thing. So I'm kind of like looking forward for them to get past all the little head nods to the other movies.
Head nods to the other movies, like what?
There's definitely a lot of it there.
That's like one of my
The
critiques
ones
here.
didn't bother me.
I felt like the head nod with the turrets on the ship.
Yep, that was another one.
You took one of the greatest Star Wars moments, in the franchise, and that kind of fell flat to me. I know it's supposed to be the whole, hey, I'm a kid and I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, I'm in Star Wars.
Yeah, that one really didn't. That head nod didn't work for me this episode.
Yeah. Of course, I'm over analytical. It's like, how do you know exactly where the pods were in the ship? You never knew the ship.
Yeah. and how does Neil know how to fly a ship? Period.
Yeah. Just move the controllers. I'm like, I have a 16-year-old I'm teaching to drive right now. I wouldn't do that with him in my truck in an empty parking lot.
Yeah.
So
my 15-year-old was getting yelled at driving today on the way to Cracker Barrel.
So yeah. What can I say? KB. I'm actually interested in like seeing more of KB, not just be a sidekick to Fern. I like the nerdy engineer scientist kind of characters. So I'm hoping to see a little more of like KB stand out as their own as character. I like the
needs
music
to.
score. Overall, I thought this was kind of slow pacing. Again, nothing offended. I didn't despise it. It's just it didn't hold up to episode 2. So for me, just a 6 out of 10.
Which one's KB?
The pirate droid with the
Oh,
mouse
KB.
ay.
Oh,
No,
that's
no,
Sweet.
no.
That's
SM. That's
Sweet. The one with the
SM33.
visor.
KB
Oh, yeah,
is
yeah.
the like yeah.
Oh, got it. The Jordy,
Yeah.
girl Jordy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha. Okay, all right. See, these characters, I didn't even know her name was KB.
I think it's potential for a cool character they haven't really put a lot of effort into developing yet.
So is that a weed reference? Is that how woke we're going?
I don't know.
Is she really con bud?
Yeah. Oh yeah, got me some of that KB.
But at least we stopped beating around the bush. Like, he's not meant to be a Jedi. I don't think he's a Jedi. I think he's probably a fugitive from the Republic.
Who
Maybe he
uses the Force.
Well, he
He
might have
has
been a
Force-
Jedi that
yeah.
went criminal, right? He might have been someone who was like, he was in the orders of Padawan. Turned out he's kind of a dirtbag and got in prison. I think
Yeah.
that's his backstory. And the one thing I'm getting interested in is the droids back on the planet. At first, I thought they're like other droids, or they're just service droids that they're told. I think they're more of like they referred to them as safety droids in this episode. I've gone back and reviewed the other episodes. I'm getting the feeling they're more of like, not almost a police force. Like, they're working for whatever the government is.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah, almost like prison guards for the people on that planet.
it feels like a HAL 9000 thing to me.
They're
I'm
there to
looking
keep
at everything.
people in line.
Got to ask a question since
Yep.
we were talking about characters' names and stuff. This is just for DA or Nipane. Can either one of you gentlemen say the name of Jude Law's character?
Crimson Jack.
What's name?
His actual first and last name, though.
Oh, what was it? Not Jod. I think it was
Nod.
like Jod or something. I don't know what the heck that.
Yeah, the
The
name is
name of
forgettable.
the planet is At Adin.
Aten.
Okay. His name is Jod Nanawood. Jod Nanawood.
Yeah,
I'm calling him Crimson Jack.
yeah, his pirate name's better.
Yeah. Please
Yeah,
do.
I'm calling him Crimson
his
Jack.
call sign,
Which is an old school Star Wars name. I know I heard it before. I've heard it before, and it's actually an old Star Wars name from way back. I think he was in a comic or a book or something like that, and they've tried to. I don't know if they've pushed him into the current stuff. I've seen it, and I've seen people talking about it, so now I want to go and look them up. But yeah, I've heard the name Crimson Jack a couple of times as it relates to Star Wars. So they're bringing him in to this franchise. I don't know if this is the exact same Crimson Jack or if they're just stealing the name. I have no idea.
Yeah.
So for my score, I'm going to give it the exact same score I gave it last week, 6.5 out of 10. So far, it's serviceable. It's not great. A little bit more Star Wars stuff shows up. I do like Jude Law's portrayal of the character that he's playing. I like his acting. I enjoy what I'm seeing from him. The kids still haven't landed with me. I'm kind of wishing they were out of the way in a lot of senses. I like the one. I do like the one KB character who seems to be like the only kid that's like I don't trust her, you know. So I like the fact that she kind of brings that up. The moments with when the kids are sitting in the gunner chairs.
Yeah.
And, that was kind of fun. They're talking back and, oh, I got it. No, that was me. Okay. It's like stuff like that is fun. But again, this is one of those, you can easily not watch this series and you've missed nothing, So like I said, 6.5 out of 10. It's not terrible.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fun to be had if you just like, look, I'm just here to have a good time, and you just shut your brain off. You don't think too hard about it. You'll have fun. But other than that, it's kind of a, whatever. It's like, that's how I feel about it. Not insulting my intelligence, not pissing me off, but at the same time, not giving me any like wow moments, So yeah, it's still a 6.5 out of 10. But I do like the fact that Jude Law's character, I like pirate stuff, so I'm digging it so far. And he has obviously his own mysteries because when he comes into contact with, I forget the owl's name, But when he comes into contact with the owl, and there's obviously some history there, so we're going to find out more about Crimson Jack. So
Nick's face is so that you forgot the owl's name. Nick just couldn't help it.
I don't know what the owl's name is.
It was like Kim or Kim or something like that.
Kim.
Okay.
Was it straight Kim?
Yeah.
But it was like KHIYIMM something. It's like just
yeah. They spelt it. They spell
it Star Warsy, whatever.
Yeah.
So again, completely not memorable characters. The kids are not memorable. I almost forgot the kids' names until they all said their names. Then I remember, oh yeah, that's right, that guy is Kim, and then that's this person that. So it's like whatever. So at the end of the day, I think it's just still mostly meh, a little bit better than your most boring series that's out there, but it's nothing to write home about.
Okay, you wanna do deathmatch? Loser goes first. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh, that might help if I do this.
I'm going. All right, I'll be quick, guys. I feel like it took a little step back today. Not that I hated it, not that it was horrible.
Exactly.
I can say this. That is an episode I know I will never have any interest watching again.
Exactly.
I mean, I know that. If this had been a really awesome episode, then I could see myself maybe watching the first 3 episodes again. The only way I'll watch this again is if my kids come to me and say, hey, watch that with me. And they're not going to. They're just, they've completely checked out of Star Wars. They'll want to go, they'll watch 1 through 6 with me. My youngest daughter still will be like, hey, let's watch the one where Princess Leia is a slave.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. If I was sitting downstairs on the TV and my kid put this episode on, I wouldn't walk out of the living room. Yeah, I'd be on my phone playing games. I wouldn't care.
So I did give last week's a 7. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'll go 6. I might split the difference between you two and go 6.25. Now, what this tells me, which we already knew this, if this is the best thing that Disney Star Wars has, they are in serious trouble.
Yep.
I mean, this isn't going to bring anybody in. This may be a loss. I mean, this is the best thing you've got on your streaming platform. That's not good. That's not. Now look, I didn't even notice the Two Mother thing. I didn't think about it. Look, full disclosure, I've had a crazy 2 days. Nick knows what my life has been like the past 48 hours. I will reveal all that to you guys soon, and it'll make sense to you. So I sat down like right as it was dropping. We had planned on sending you guys a room, didn't get to it. Nick misunderstood my message. No problem. We watched it. We're here. It was a step back for me. I felt like the Star Wars moments, like the echoed moments, the turret, that just kind of fell flat to me. The X-Wings showing up made the New Republic fighters look incompetent.
Got outflown by a kid.
Get outflown by a kid, and I thought that they
did say at the end that they were taking it easy.
They did.
They did kind of give it. It's like, all right, look, we know there's kids aboard. We can't really go hard after these guys,
right?
And I think they kind of almost let them escape.
But when he said that, the hatch opens and it's smoking in there, and he's breathing heavy, like he just got whooped. So it kind of,
and he just got clipped. And is it just me, or were those X-Wings shooting ion cannons?
They were blue. They were blue laser fire.
I'm like, X-Wings don't have ions.
Even the whole concept when he's like, he puts them in the gunner pits, and he's just like, just hold them off. It's like, you're assuming these kids know how to operate these cannons and not accidentally turn into murders.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
let's see. Do I have any other thoughts? I felt like for me to like the show more, I would like to see more of our pirate droid. A little more him. I felt like the main male child was barely in this episode. He got excited to get into the turret.
Yeah,
And was like, yeah, you know, and he's like, he's a Jedi, and I did have a sequel trilogy moment where the pirate Jude Law, they're having this conversation with the kids. This is in the first third of the episode, and the boys were like, he's a Jedi. Oh my gosh, we have to trust him, like kind of like their C-3PO. And then it's the girl. The girl has all the answers, just like Rey. She, to be fair, that's what she's been in every episode. So at least they're, in a rhythm with it. At least they're, what's the word I'm looking for?
Consistent.
Consistent. Thank you. Long day. I don't know how much of a praise that is. But look, we got 5 episodes left, and it was just barely okay, and it's nothing for me to anticipate for next week right now.
Is this the curse of Disney Star Wars Episode 3 is like always going to be the worst potentially? Always drop off at. Yeah. I mean, granted, it didn't nosedive.
No, it didn't. It didn't. Yeah.
It held my interest. I was like, all right, what's going to happen? It kind of held my interest for the 30 minutes that it ran. But I mean, it's not like I was excited at any point in time or just intrigued. Like I said, except for, to see what this character is, okay, he's not a Jedi. So who is he? So now that's the mystery. Who is he? It's kind of like the planet was like the first, okay, question mark. What's this planet all about? At Aden. What's going on this planet. I'm curious about that. We still don't know. So that's a mystery that they're kind of leaving dangling until later.
I think I'm more interested in like what is his story and at Atten's story, and I kind of lost interest in the kids.
I've already lost interest in the kids. I really could care less about these kids at this point. I know they're going to be safe. They're going to get home just fine. It would be interesting if any of these kids, got in some real danger, got kidnapped, got captured, and they had to use their wits to get away from whoever they were being chased by. Something that would be interesting, but they haven't gotten to that point yet. So yeah, right now I'm just kind of like, interested in a couple of things, but that's about it.
Cosmic Donut, this is pretty much where I'm at. Another good episode. I would say it was okay, though a tad weaker than the first 2. I agree with that. That I think everybody has said that so far, but we're about to unleash the Kraken. Valiant Renegade 1999. Disney Plus is losing advertisers like Biden losing his cognitive faculties. Shows like Acolyte and Skeleton Crew are severely under-delivering. Doesn't matter if good or bad. Money walking and proving Disney has killed Star Wars. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, and Valiant did a great video on all this morning that he dropped. If you guys have not watched it, definitely go check it out. But is talking about the ratings over a week, of the first 2 episodes coming out, and it's not even registering. So people have walked away, and the people that do still hold out some kind of hope for Disney Star Wars don't really seem to be that interested or tuning in to this show either. Because this is all new. That's all new characters. I mean, there's not really anything to get excited about.
You weren't excited about the owl? Come on, man.
Oh man, it was my favorite part of the whole episode. As soon as the owl showed up, I was like, "Oh God, an owl!" Like
it started feeling like Labyrinth a little bit.
Yeah,
it did. Yeah. It did.
Yeah,
but you know what I was thinking? Like this show so far probably has the most toy potential since Mando, because you got this owl, you got that ship, you got Smee, the droid, you got Neil. There's a lot of
little
toy
rat
options.
coming out of his eye.
Yeah. You can have a Smee with that rat. I mean, there's toy options here for for the Disney if there's any buyers. I don't think there'll be any buyers, but
if kids
they got a lot of
Disney
stuff that they
Star
can
Wars,
make stuff off of, which might be interesting.
It better be on pre-orders, DA.
Oh yeah,
There's not going to be enough people watching.
I don't think there's going to be a lot of people watching.
And the kids that are watching this, I mean, how many of those kids actually buy toys? I mean, kids don't really buy toys anymore these days.
The collectors do,
yeah, the collectors do.
Junkman,
Junkman will buy. He'll buy one of every figure in the show. My thoughts on the episode can be summed up pretty quickly.
How about it sucked?
That's pretty much where I'm at. Very uninteresting. This is just typical Disney Star Wars to me. Like I said last week, with the state that Star Wars is in, this is what you spent your time and money on. Is this kiddie show? Where we get an owl and we get, silly shenanigans happening where the ship's tied to the fuel line and he's got to drag all this other stuff. And then
the continuation of Michael Jackson's 1988 series, Moonwalker.
Yeah. You can walk around in space now in Star Wars. I didn't know that was a thing. The little place where where all the ships were at the very beginning of the episode, that's got the platform out there. They're having to get in these ships to travel up there that are enclosed, but that whole thing is just completely open. They're walking around. They get to the moon. They're just walking around on the moon. I'm like, God, when did this become a thing? I wish we could walk around on our moon like we walk around outside. You can just be in space and just walk around. I mean, it's obvious it had no atmosphere. It was an actual moon in space. The one credit I will give the writers, because this has been one of the huge complaints for me in Disney Star Wars, is they don't explain enough stuff. Something will happen and it'll be like a mystery box thing that they throw in there, and you're like, look, literally, this could be explained with one sentence. What was the big thing after the first 2 episodes last week? If he could use the Force and get those keys, why did he not already escape? Right. Guess what? They addressed it in this episode by like just a sentence or two. What would be the point of me escaping if I had nowhere to go and no ship to go to? All right, that's all you got to do. And so many of the shows that they do that where you're just questioning stuff and wondering, now this doesn't make sense, that doesn't make sense, and it could easily be explained and make sense with literally a line or two.
Well, that's the problem with Dave Filoni and like what he did with Ahsoka. So much of it just made no sense at all.
Yeah,
and everybody's arguing online about what meant what, and nobody knows. And that's not by design; that's bad writing.
Yeah, and guess what? Filoni's writing Ahsoka season 2 all by him little self. He's doing it all alone. So get ready for Ahsoka season 2. But yeah, for me, 3 out of 10. It got an extra point and bumped it up to a 3 with them just giving that one explanation. I'm like, that's nice that you're actually explaining something in a Star Wars show instead of leaving everybody to wonder and guess what's happening.
Right.
I don't really care about any of these characters.
Which characters do you like?
You
don't feel compelled to say any. I'm just saying, like, are there any?
The ones that are the most interesting to me in the show, if I had to pick one, would be the was it SM-33, the pirate droid. He's fine. I like him probably the most out of all of them. Jude Law's character is still, I still don't really know what's going on with him. The kids, I don't care about any of them at all. So yeah, I'd probably say the pirate droid is the one that's probably the one that I like the most out of all of the characters in the show. But yeah, nothing in the show is offensive where I'm like, God, that destroys canon, that destroys lore, or this is woke crap here, woke crap there. There's not really any of that in this show. It's just
So far, I
so
agree.
far it's just a lame, silly kid show. And like Andor took the seriousness a little too far for me, and this show is taking the silliness and stuff a little bit more in the opposite direction. Like that's the thing I love about the original trilogy, is it's literally for everybody, kids, adults, all like. And it's got lightheartedness, but it's not silly and dumb. There's a couple silly moments, but overall the original trilogy takes itself pretty seriously.
Yeah. What did you guys think about when Jude Law's character Jod Nanawood, or Crimson, otherwise known as Crimson Jack.
Crimson Jack.
I think I'm just going to call him Jude Law the whole time.
Yeah. What did you guys think about the scene where he's turning all those droids on and you're getting all those weird moments and voices? And
that was just another one of those silly.
It was a little too much.
Yeah.
3 in a row. 1 is okay. You know, I can roll with that. But 3 felt a little over the top. And then the voice of the Wolfman character just doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know the one I'm talking about? Like the new main pirate.
Yeah.
Brutus.
Yeah.
Brutus, thank you. It's God, like Nick said, I'm struggling to know their names.
Yeah, all of them are very forgettable. Like Neil in, what was it, Wim?
Yeah.
Wim, yeah. Like, and I just couldn't 100% remember that character's name. And that's just because, they've kind of been talked about in these first 3 episodes.
We should just come up with our own names for them.
Yeah, Kid 1, Kid 2,
Geordie.
Yeah, Geordie,
Little Ray.
Yeah, the captain girl. I don't even know what her name is. Do you guys know what her name is? The one who's she's like, I'm
Vern.
the captain.
Vern.
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 Like
Vern.
Fern. Fern.
You know what I mean, Vern?
Vern. Oh. All right, Vern. Yeah. Hey, Vern.
Fern and Ernest. That's gonna be the new show.
Vern. Okay. Yeah. See, I wouldn't have been able to tell you that. And guess what? When the show's over, I won't be able to tell you any of their names a week
Ernest.
later. Because
Episode 4. Ernest goes to Adden.
Yeah, because it will all be deleted from my brain after
This is the moonwalking scene right here, Nick, that you see.
Yeah.
It is a nice image. I give him that. It's got kind of an ET vibe, which I'm not a big fan of. ET's one step above Goonies, though, so I'll go there.
Yeah, I just noticed the director. This is the one director I was most worried about, the one that did these last 2 episodes. After this, we're supposed to get the better directors. John Watts did the first one. Then this guy, David Lowery. I saw some of his filmography, and I was just kind of shrugging. The Daniels, they do the next episode. And then we get to Jake Schreier, who's directing Thunderbolts. Then we get to his episode. Then we get to Bryce Dallas Howard's, then Lee Isaac Chung, who just directed Twister, and then it finishes up with John Watts. So I didn't know what these 2 episodes would be like. I was interested to see what the Daniels would do with it, and then, of course, Bryce Dallas Howard. So, it is what it is. Like I said, there's no real, to me, the story is really what I'm here for. I'm interested in, okay, what is the story you guys got to tell me? And so far, I'm just kind of shrugging my shoulders, and again, nothing's wrong with it. Like Nick said, it's not overly woke. All right. It's not offensive. It's just a story that I'm not really interested in, other than a couple of pieces, the planet and now the pirate. Okay. But honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that I was watching, or having the, a channel and everything like that, I probably wouldn't be coming back. I would wait until this thing finished all the way up and then binge watch it one afternoon and then just be done with it. That's what I would be doing in all honesty. And so it's not catching my interest and keeping me like, oh, I can't wait for the next episode, like The Penguin. That's what a series should do. Should be inviting you to come back and you can't wait to see what happens next. The fact that I don't care about any of these characters and I'm just interested mildly in a couple of mysteries, that's not a good sign.
Yeah. Welcome aboard to Kay, who says middle-aged men watching a child's TV show.
But you know what's funny about that is that the show is based on Amblin Entertainment type, which is our era. Okay, it's not based on children in this era. It wouldn't appeal to kids in this era because kids in this era don't grow up watching this type of content. This is what we watched when we were kids. This is us. This is for us. When we always ask, like, who is this show made for? It's really made for the middle-aged men that still love Star Wars because it's hearkening back to Goonies, to Flight of the Navigator, to The Last Starfighter, and those types of shows.
Our kids are growing up watching gaming streamers. They're growing up to PewDiePie and was it Dr. Douchebag or Dr. Disrespect or whatever? Like that's what they grew up watching. They don't watch fantasies or entertainment like we did as kids. Exactly. Very few kids do that these days.
Yeah, like when you listen to John Watts and all of those creators that made this show, when you listen to it, all they can talk about is how much they loved Pirates and Goonies and this and that. That's what they talk about. You watched, like a couple of the interviews. That's who the audience for this show is. It literally is for people in our age range. So it's kind of funny when you hear that. It's like, it's really made for us.
Lily, our friend 300 Mirrors, she posted this on X just a moment ago. Skeleton Crew episode 2. It's not a terrible show, but I'm bored because it's dumbed down and obviously for children. Again, I make the argument that OG Star Wars wasn't like this, and look at how many generations of kids loved it. The world and creatures are at least really cool. I agree with her, DA. To your point, it's a safe base hit show that for someone like me who's an original trilogy purist, this just doesn't do it.
Well, again, because it has the Goonies vibe that you don't like. If you like the Goonies, you probably will like this.
So I would argue that, hey, Lucasfilm, you've had all these strikes in a row. You're coming out with a new show. Instead of trying to make something 80s or Amblin Entertainment, why don't you make something Star Wars?
Bingo. Yeah.
That's what I would argue.
The thing is,
but you're right. I don't like the whole Amblin thing. I am not. I will say this: my average score is 6.5 right now. I like this show better than Goonies. I'm not kidding. I joke around and I poke the bear a little bit with the whole Goonies thing. I know how in the minority I am. Like it's 1,000,000 to 1.
But Goonies isn't Star Wars, and that's the problem. I'm here to see Star Wars just like you guys, and Goonies isn't Star Wars. So give us Star Wars. Get back to making Star Wars, and you'll be fine. So that's the big problem with this. And again, I'm saying it again. I'm still waiting for Star Wars to show up, and it's like, okay, it's still like we got the X-wings. So there's your Star Wars. It's like
there it is.
No.
Little Force.
A lot of nodding to it.
Yeah. Force, isn't this Star Wars? Like, no, you don't get it. So that's the problem with Lucasfilm, Disney, Star Wars right now. They don't understand what they got or what they're supposed to be doing with it.
Yeah, and they had to throw that battle droid in there in that one scene. The prequel babies. Like let's throw a battle droid. I will freely admit it. I am a sucker for nostalgia.
You are.
For it.
You are. Easy.
But only when it's done right.
They could have gone subtle with it. They could have had the head of the battle droid sitting on a back shelf.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Like an Easter egg, like background,
Yes.
And in the prequels, there was that one scene, one shot where they're like coming down in the Capitol there, and if you look like right down at the bottom of the screen, you can see the Falcon flying in. You know, like that. That's cool when it's kind of in the background. In the special edition of Episode 4, Star Wars, you know, Dash Rendar's ship. What was the ship called?
The Outrider.
Outrider, yeah. You see it taking off from Mos Eisley, you know, and leaving the Mos Eisley spaceport there, you know, which is cool. So those kind of things are cool. You know, in Rogue One, I love that they used some unused footage of the Rebel pilots from Star Wars.
Yeah,
that they dug up. I thought that was awesome. Absolutely loved it.
And we didn't know that was going to happen.
Nope.
On opening night.
Yeah, that had not been leaked. So I'm a sucker for nostalgia, but only when it's done right. You know, when the X-Wing showed up, or, you know, when it just feels forced, like, hey, you know, remember this, guys? You know, it's like, but, you know, like in Rogue One with the Rebel pilots, you know, that makes sense because that's literally right before A New Hope. You know, so those pilots would have already been a part of Rogue Squadron and a part of that group there, or whatever the squadron was that it was called.
I think I would have been, you know, thinking about that, maybe a bit more interested in the X-Wings if it had been like a new model of X-Wing, like an X-Wing 2.0.
Well, it shot ion cannons.
Yeah. True. I'm thinking like more of the design, right?
Yeah,
really
yeah.
It was like, okay, it's
yeah.
a new version of X-Wing, kind of interested, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like a, you know, complete nostalgia throwback. So
one thing about, you know, again, the mysteries that I'm actually kind of like, okay, trying to uncover. So it looks like Ad-Aden did exist, you know, or these people have been locked away from everything that's going on in the galaxy. They kind of hinted at that, you know, to say what war? Like, so, yeah, they don't know what war, and it seems like everything is all the way back to the, you know, the Republic era, the old Republic, or the previous Republic prior to, you know, the Empire. So, it does make you wonder, okay, why is this barrier existing? What are these guards going on? What's going on in all of this? And I wish, like, I really wanted them to answer that question. That's why I was like, okay, they're getting this owl to answer that damn question. They didn't even answer it. You know, they just they touched on it and then they moved on. So it seems like that's going to be another problem for this story. It's just not going to get to the point. It's going to drag this story point out as long as it can drag it out. And that's going to kind of get annoying after a while. If they don't wrap up what Aden is by the next episode, I'm going to start getting upset. I'm just going to start ripping it apart.
Yeah,
because I'm giving it a shot, but like you're trying to tell a story and you're not getting to the story. You just want to, like, it's what Disney, Star Wars, and Marvel do. They kind of stretch everything out and they take a two-hour concept and they try to, you know, drag it out into 8 episodes. And it's really just a very small, simple concept.
I agree. Very soon we need to find out the Soul Star Aden and Jude Law. And I'm still calling him Jude Law because I can't pick a name.
But it's one of the major issues when you have some of these. Like, we saw that with Ahsoka. Like, Ahsoka had enough of a story for about 3 episodes. All right, 3.5 episodes. And
those were the 3 good episodes, and then it went down.
But that's my point, is that it's all filler.
Yes, like, so much.
All filler. Mando season 3, all filler.
Yeah, 25-second walks across a room with no dialogue.
Right.
You know,
and people staring at each other. And it's like, look, you got story points. Let's wrap it up. Let's get on to the next thing. But it seems like they don't really have like a really good idea of the story that they want to tell. Or if they do, they're just stretching it all the way out. So that's what I'm worried about right now. It's like, if they don't get to the mystery of this stupid planet after 4 episodes, if we got to wait all the way until episode 7 or 8 to get there, this whole show is going to be done. You know, they'll lose the regular people. The people that are loving it will get pissed off because that's what's plagued Disney Star Wars this entire time. Andor's the only one that had like a solid story, and even that was stretched out a lot.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm seeing on Twitter right now there is a huge. It appears that there is a huge fascination with the character KB with a lot of the people that love it. It's all I'm getting Acolyte vibes from it, honestly. They're like Kamir. You know, wasn't that his name? Right? They are like, if you just do a search on X for Skeleton Crew and sort it by latest, you're going to see KB, she's number one. Oh my gosh, she's adorable. Da 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 da. She's the best character ever. Da da da. It just on and on and on. Like they've really drawn to her, I guess. Kind of weird. I didn't see. Look, I didn't see a lot there, guys. Well, I don't get the appeal. All the kids are pretty much the same. She's the one with the visor. That's about it.
That's what I'm somewhat interested in. Is like, what exactly does this visor do? Like, I think maybe I'm more interested in the visor technology.
Yeah, I was wondering that.
Yeah.
No
Like,
clue.
is there something? Because she, it's not like she needs it to see.
Correct.
So what is she using it for?
She has to have it for her engineering when she goes down into the bay of the ship.
And she can detect, droids, droids and
patrol
remote,
droids or whatever. Yeah.
And
that are
she
floating around.
she can detect bullcrap
Yeah,
with it, I guess.
yeah, because she's like, I don't.
Yeah,
trust
she knows these. The girls
don't
have
trust
the correct perception, and then the two boys are just idiots.
Yeah, and they've made that kind of apparent in this show. Like, hey, the two boys are the idiots, and the two girls are, the smart ones.
Yeah, Rey was on board the Falcon for 15 minutes, and she fixed it.
Yeah.
Han Solo had it for decades.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's because she said you work for us. That's why she's so cool and awesome, because you work for us. No, whatever.
Yeah. We're the boss. We're the girl bosses.
Girl boss. Yeah, really, man. Man. It's like I said, man. If they don't get to this story and get this thing moving, I'm gonna start checking out. This thing was not it's a okay episode, but I mean, it's nothing really to this. You could literally skip this entire series, just binge it after episode 8 if you're interested. But I don't think I don't know. We'll see. Still got 5 to go.
After episode 2, I was initially pretty excited because I really love the set work in the spaceport. It was grungy, dirty. I really love so much about it. I didn't like. So the one thing I don't like is when you have 3 types of characters. You have either puppet characters, practical effects characters, or CG characters, because all 3 move differently. Mm-hmm. And when you have the practical and the puppet characters, the CG characters stand out. They're too smoothly animated. And then this episode, I just didn't. I mean, yeah, we're in the spaceport in the beginning, but then we got to the owl's lair, the aviary, I'm gonna call it.
Yeah.
I would have preferred main characters like this to be more practical. I think they just move better. I think they work better to complement. They're more gritty. Her being as clean, the owl being as clean as she is, didn't really sit right with me. If for all the work they're putting into this,
Yeah.
I think what they could have done, and I worked in that industry. I know it all costs money, but if her lair had like feathers lying around, because if you've ever been around, if you ever had birds, you have feathers lying around.
Yeah.
I think that would just little touches, right? Like they pick up like a map and some feathers fall off. They got, blow feathers off. Or you see feathers fly off her when she flies around a little bit. It was way too clean. And
Yeah, that was one of the things that I actually gave it a point for when I was watching it. Is some of the set design stuff, the sound design I think is fine. Some of the shots, some of the cinematography I thought looked good. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the story and the characters, and nothing in here is making me care about any of this.
You could have sock puppets. If the story's awesome, it's going to be great.
Yeah, exactly. And with all these different directors, I mean, Martin Scorsese could have came in and directed every single one of these episodes, and I don't think I would feel any different about it. I mean, it's just, when these people are getting in these writing rooms, it's just like, can you come up with something, a little bit better than this? And watch Omega show up in this show.
Oh my God.
Hey,
look, I totally agree with
Omega.
I really agree with what DA was saying about Adden. Are they just stringing us along? So you could
They
go
have
two.
to have a
You could
mystery
go
box in there
you could go
somewhere.
exactly. You could go 2 different ways with this story. One, the kids are just trying to get back home, and all these things are happening. Okay. 2, they're trying to get back home, but it's not just home. It's a secret treasure planet that nobody knows where it's at. and they truly are lost. And we're going to dangle that in front of you every episode all the way through. It took me back. This was my one main criticism for The Mandalorian season 1 after like the first 5 episodes. Do you remember, Nick? When we were reviewing Mandalorian season 1 when the episodes were first dropping. I liked the show. I was cool with it, but my criticism was, I don't know what this show's about yet. Is this about a Mandalorian / bounty hunter, or is this a lone wolf and cub? Because they're not making it clear to me right now.
Yeah.
And it took like 5 episodes before I finally go, lone wolf and cub. It's not about Din Djarin, it's about the 2 of them, and it took several weeks to get there to get that understanding.
Yep.
That's kind of where we are with At-Aten in this whole journey right now. They need to tell us more.
Yep. The story is just lagging, and you got to get to the point. Like, they should be taking every, it's like, okay, we know what the mystery of At-Aten is, but now we move on to the next stage of the game. Oh, well, what secret is it hiding? It's like everybody knows it's hiding a secret. We can already figure that out, but it hasn't been presented in such a way in the story where the adults have been confronted. Like they should have had a father. Hey, screw you guys. I'm getting a planet and I'm getting out of here. Or I'm getting a ship and I'm getting off this planet. I'm going to get my kid. And now the droids are forced to reveal this is what's really happening. And the parents are like, wait, what? Now start moving and the stakes get raised. Now things are becoming more interesting. You start having some people, trying to push back against this maybe oppressive system that's keeping them trapped on this planet while their kids are out there. No, they're just all kind of sitting around. Well, I hope you guys find my kid. It's like, wait, somebody's got to do something at this point. Nothing's happening, and then we get over there to, the pirates, after they escape and they know that this guy's escaped because somebody caught him in the act, it's like, Jude Law or what's his name? Crimson Jack has escaped. All right, we got to put him back in jail. He knows things or whatever. You got to ramp up the stakes. The story is just dragging because they don't really have a story other than what's the mystery of At-Aten. They don't have nowhere to go after that. Once they get that done, I don't know where they go after that. Are they saving it for a season 2? I don't think so.
What's the role of the pirates?
Story move after they figure out that mystery. That's what I am interested in, and then that's a story. But what they're doing right now is just dragging out these tiny story points like they did with Ahsoka, like they did with Mando. And it's just like, all right, I don't care. It's like, all right, hurry up to that.
Right now, the pirates are kind of like the zombie troopers in Ahsoka. They're just innocent bystanders, just chilling. Yeah. And every time we've seen them, they just happen to be there and watching what's happening. What role do they have in this show?
Want? Like, exactly. what is their one? Like, give them their story and then let that story clash with, Crimson Jack's story, which clashes with the kids, which clashes with the parents. And now you have interest. Now you have a story where all of these various, things are coming together. And now you can tell, like, oh, okay, now I'm interested, because we saw that with Penguin. It's like Oz had his own, agency of what he wanted to do. Yeah. Vic had stuff he was trying to accomplish. Sophia had stuff that she was trying to accomplish. Yeah, I know, man. That was rough. I'm still mad.
That was,
but everybody had
but
something.
That's good writing,
right? And then you got the Falcone family, and then you have what Salvatore Maroni is up. Like, everybody has something working together, and they're all working at cross purposes to achieve their own ends, and it's all great drama. It just made for amazing television. Right now, we're just watching 3 episodes of kids trying to get home, and there's a planet and then there's a Jedi. And it's like,
and is he even a Jedi?
Or is he a Jedi?
Yeah,
that should have been answered today.
Yeah,
no, I don't think he's a Jedi either.
Yeah, because he was like, they're like, you're a Jedi. And he's like, well, I didn't say I actually was a Jedi. There's tons of theories going around on that. And the thing is, why wouldn't he just say so?
Because it brought up a lot. The question on him being a Jedi was brought up quite a bit, and I was like, okay, let's just answer this freaking question.
Yeah, can we answer the question so
on.
We know who the character is and continue with the story? But every single time, it's like they have to have these mystery guessing things to try to get you to come into the next episode. Yeah, no, just make a good story and tell us from the beginning who these characters are, what their motivation is, what the story arc is somewhat going to be, and the goals here, and then just tell the good story and let us enjoy the ride. I don't like every single week guessing and wondering, well, what's going on, who's doing this or what, like just at least tell us about the characters. We don't have to keep guessing, who these characters actually are.
Yeah. And what about that moment? They went real world on me, man, when they were, because I don't recall this ever being in Star Wars. The Marines have no Marine left behind, right, Knee-Pain? Army has no soldier left behind. The old Latin phrase in ancient history, nemo revidia or something like that, leave no one behind, is what it means. And they bring that right into Star Wars. And John Nanawood says, that's not us. That's not the Jedi.
Yeah, we don't do that. We don't leave no Jedi behind.
That kind of took me out of it a little bit. Like,
it's a very military thing, and I did this in my review. I really question if this planet's been kept under control by governing authority. Do they understand military? Do they have their own militaries? Do they understand that kind of military mentality? Yeah, I get the feeling this planet's very controlled.
Them teachers run a tight ship.
Yeah, true.
The droid teachers
go to detention.
Yeah.
You're skipping.
Yeah, it's just nothing to write home about. Nothing to write home about for sure.
But like you said, it's not offensive. It's not woke. It's just not telling an interesting story, and it's kind of the points that are interesting, they're kind of dragging them out. So. Yeah, like I said, 6.5 out of 10. It could easily go to a 5 in a heartbeat for me. It could drop from a 6.5 to a 5 in one episode. If this next episode doesn't get the job done, I'm gonna start saying this thing is boring and it's dragging itself out. That's where it's at.
How many of you have watched all 3 episodes of Dune Prophecy?
I have not watched a single one because I've not heard one single good thing about the show.
Okay,
I've watched one. I've watched one, and that's it.
Yeah,
I watched the first 2. The third one came out
Sunday, right?
Yeah, it's been
dropping every Sunday. Yeah.
So it's been out for a little bit.
No interest.
I have not even smelt it. Mm-hmm. We're at the point right now at Skeleton Crew where this is the breaking point for me. I'm going to watch it. We're going to keep doing this. Whether you guys, y'all don't feel compelled. You guys don't have to be here. But Nick and I are still going to do this. We'll come on here and we'll talk about it, what we thought. But if this was anything else, I'm at the point where I'm real close to being like, nah, I don't know if I'm bouncing. I'm going. Yeah. I want to watch those things where I'm like, can't wait for that next episode.
Right. Yeah. That's how I felt with the Penguin, House of the Dragon as well. Yeah. It's like, okay, I'm looking forward to the next episode. I'm looking forward to this. I want to see what happens next. I'm talking with my buddies week to week, and we're speculating. And hey, man, did you see that last episode? Oh, man, it was great. That's the feeling I want to have for Star Wars again that I don't have. Right now, again, it's just for channel purposes and channel purposes only.
Yeah, exactly. And one other thing I want to add. Peak Obi-Wan said it right here. This is another reason why the episode got one of the points for me is Jude Law's performance.
He's really good.
He's good. He's great.
He's a good actor. Really good.
Yep.
And so I like he's given him and the pirate droid on the SM-33 have given the best 2 performances on the show for me so far.
Any of you guys feel this? I might be a little sad's not the word, disappointed that he's not a Jedi.
I don't know.
I got to see how the story plays out. But
it doesn't bother me right now.
But that being said, if I look at it big picture, I don't want any more Jedi just spread around the galaxy in Disney Star Wars. Because that does destroy. We've talked about that so many times.
I don't mind the idea of an ex-Jedi, like someone that make out of the Padawan, didn't make the Padawan training. He's a little bit, he can do the Force a little bit, can't wield the lightsaber, he can pick things up, but overall he's got to rely on other skills to get out of situations. I don't really mind that. So
if
that's all he is.
I kind of imagine him like maybe he's always been a Force user, but after Order 66, nobody's really been trying to train Jedi, or people try to hide their Force skills or something like that. So he's turns to piracy, to kind of make it through the galaxy, and maybe some picking up jobs, bounty hunter, whatever. I see him as that kind of a character. I don't see him as being a Jedi. He just happens to know how to wield the Force, and he's been able to use it here and there. That's the impression I get of this character. And yeah, it could be an interesting, kind of take on a Force user if you do it right. But yeah, I'm not really interested. If they don't get to this guy's story, I'm just like, I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be really hard for me to keep watching this every single week.
The main characters feel like side characters. Yeah. Who is the main character?
Yeah, that's what I was just getting ready to say. Who is the main character?
We don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who is this? Let's think about this. Who is this show about? Who's driving the plot? Who's pushing the story forward?
We don't know.
Really your protagonist.
Is it about the kids character, or the pirate that's with the kids?
Is it
and
Wim?
It just took them 3 episodes to get there.
I think why we're confused is Kathleen doesn't know how to produce a show that she can't project her own character into, like she's done so many shows.
Yeah.
It appeared that Wim was the main character in the first 2 episodes.
Yes, I would agree with that.
He was about invisible today.
Yeah.
Actually, I was kind of okay with that.
Me too.
I was for sure. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe maybe it's kind of like a group. I'm sorry, but
I love this.
Far away should not have cul-de-sacs, school buses, meetings. Yeah, it is too. It's too. Real world. This is supposed to be space fantasy.
My review, I was talking about like the street, even the street lights look like they're in My Last Neighborhood. And it's like, they could have done something different, like had like floating street lights, right?
Yeah.
Something not on a pole. Just, I don't know. It was way too attached to like My Last Neighborhood.
Yeah. I remember driving through Nashville with DA, and he said, "Why are there no sidewalks here?"
I mean, I live in like a concrete jungle, man. It is nothing but, sidewalks and everything. So, yeah, I was kind of different. I liked it, though, man. I like Nashville.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no sidewalks in my neighborhood.
Oh, yeah? Yeah.
No, just
down south, man.
Just curbs. Just curbs and houses and driveways.
Well, guys, I hope that we didn't piss on anybody's parade. If you're enjoying it a whole lot more than us, let us know. We didn't do this. So we gave our scores real quick. I came in with the 6.25. Nick?
3 out of 200. No, 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10.
3 out of 10. Knee pain, DA?
I was a 6.
I was a 6.5.
Chat, if you watched it already, throw your number down. What are you out of 10? And that's going to be the thing that we close the show with. Mary Lanning says 8 out of 10. Sorry, John Graber. Look, we got to be honest, man. We got to be honest. Nick Rules, 6 out of 10. Peak Obi-Wan, solid 7. Michael, 6. Crazed Dominican, 6. The SSW Network, 8. Glad you liked it, brother. Mike Robinson, 7. George with the 2.
Yeah.
George with the 7. Felix with the 5. Daisy Blossom Flower Child with the 5.5. Cylon Scotty, 3. Cylon Scotty and Nick together.
Cylon. I'm watching Battlestar Galactica again.
Cosmic with the 7. James with the 5. Hitokiri with the 2, IG with the mid 7, Shadow 5, Rob Wright, what's up, brother 5, Cool Kev 6. So Yegar 5, Tony White, what's up, Tony? 3. Darth Pauls gave it an 11.
I don't believe that.
He's the one that gave it 11 out of 200.
Yeah. 10 out of 10. Okay. I'm enjoying it with my kids. 10
out of 10, John. Come on.
Now, hold up. We were literally ending the show, and you got the most long-winded, verbose, going to take him 87 minutes to make a 2-minute point.
I sent him the link like 25 minutes ago.
What in the world? What do you
What's
want?
up? No, I will not take it long. I'm sorry. I was trying to, do some stuff around the house. I had to take one of the Renegade kids to urgent care tonight with a.
Oh,
we
no.
Thought we thought it was a broken toe. She's a competitive dancer. She's got national competitions coming up in like a month and a half. I was just booking this stuff to Orlando to go out there for that. So I'm like, fortunately, nothing serious. She's just got to stay off it for a few days. But
That's good.
here's the thing. Y'all were talking about this. I was over on Pro's show for a few minutes, and I wanted to offer y'all just kind of some thoughts, the audience some thoughts. You guys know I love the Echo Base Network. Y'all have been, my closest brothers here on YouTube. I'm coming up on my 4-year anniversary in like a month and a half.
Yeah, since the beginning.
Nice.
Since right when you started your channel.
Dude, y'all are great. DA's
I
great.
hated your ass from the.
I know. I freaking hated you too. You absolute piece of dog trash.
Look. Just like Da. The moment I saw you, I'm going, dude's better than me already.
Yeah. I was like, Valiant's got good.
DA is better than you. I am better than you, so it's fine. It's like
That's what I just said.
Yeah. No, but you didn't throw DA in there. You're like, he's better than me. I'm like, no, DA's better than you too.
Coach is better than me though.
Yeah.
So I'm the
Da,
worst
did I
at
not
it.
just say that?
Okay, well, I misunderstood.
Okay.
Sorry.
You kind of did.
No, real quick though. I know y'all trying to wrap up, but look, chat, you guys are great out there. Thank you for all your support for Echo Base. If you haven't done it yet, there's still 166 of y'all watching. Wait,
260.
Let me refresh this. Yeah, wait, I got to refresh. Refresh.
I got it's the Twitter with
Yeah, between
Twitter
YouTube-
Live
Oh,
and-
yeah, Twitter. Okay, cool. I'm glad y'all are doing it on X. Look, I am so close to getting subscriptions on X. People are asking, like, Valiant, you're going crazy on X right now. Yes, because I've got one metric left, and that's 5 million organic impressions over 90 days. I'm at 4.3 million right now. I need 700,000 more. So I'm trying to drive it up so I can get subscriptions locked in on X. They just changed the criteria. So anyway, the point is, this is why I'm here. You guys have had a great conversation about this show. And as I said this earlier on Pro's show and to others out there, it feels weird. Like, guys, you know what I came onto YouTube in the middle of. I started YouTube and all I talked about was Star Wars for months and months and months and months and months. And if you remember, 2 weeks after my YouTube channel premiered, 2 weeks after my first video, what happened? Gina Carano got canned.
Yeah.
And it was like, so I got more into the deep dive on the Disney stuff and the analytics and the business side of things. And for those of you
made
that
a lot of good videos with Cameron.
Yeah. You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong.
Sparrow.
Had to.
Oh, look, I don't.
Hey, I saw Sparrow's ass in this episode. No, oh, that was Owl. My bad. No.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, was Morai in there?
Yeah.
Was he really?
Something.
Yeah.
There was an owl, a talking
God.
owl. Yeah.
Yeah.
You notice I haven't. And look, chat, I am not trying to stir shit. Just telling you. But I have not heard a lot about Sparrow in quite some time. Just gonna leave it there. That being said, no, the point is that there's so much apathy that has developed for Star Wars, and this is what's really important. Okay. I have felt like I have reached a point as a Echo Base Network brother, as a OG Star Wars fan, like all you boys are, like all you boys and girls out there in the audience are. And I'm like, I really feel like, and I've talked about this for years, we've made jokes, but guys, I've really felt like I've reached a point of truly, I just woke up and I'm like, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
And it's killing me. Like I want to care. I love Star Wars. I want to care about it, and I just can't bring myself to do it. And I had a conversation, and I know Coach Nick, I know y'all boys saw this. Knee pain, I know y'all saw this. I think DA saw this too. Probably a lot of you out in there in the audience saw this. I did a video that came out yesterday morning. My buddy KMG, Renegade Nation knows him as Kiss My Grits. We also call him Grits, right? He's been on the show a number of times before. He's been a fan of the channel. Grits, for those of you who don't know, is a very, very, very long experienced member of the big, super high-end Hollywood, New York advertising market scene, okay? That's about as much as I can get into. When Grits calls me and he says, dude, I got something for you about DAS, Disney ad sales, I listen because his information is 1,000% solid. I know it is. I know who he is. I know where he worked, and I know his contacts. When he called, he hit me up 15 minutes into my live show Sunday, and he told me that Disney Plus is in some seriously deep poop because advertisers are running for the hills. Literally,
they're not getting enough viewership.
No, they're not. Exactly. And that's just it. He's like, Disney DAS was basically sold a bill of goods from Lucasfilm and from Marvel about here's all these big shows. We're dropping $200, $250, $300 million on these productions. Sell ads for this stuff for the new ad tier on Disney Plus. We're going to have a big audience coming, and every one of them has radically under-delivered. And in the industry, it's called under-deliveries, to the point to where, and I've known this for a while, and KMG knows this as a veteran ad pro in that high-end market, that when that happens, you have to cut massive refund checks. Like if you promise a company that they're going to get 10 million people or to have eyeballs on your show and you deliver 3, you're cutting a huge refund check. You have to. And on top of that, those same advertisers have decided to drop Disney Plus. They want to be on Hulu, but the problem is Hulu doesn't have the bandwidth. They don't have enough space left. Disney Plus is losing advertisers, and they have nowhere else to go. And it's a mess right now at DAS. And it's mainly because, if you go watch my video that I did, it's mainly because of Star Wars and Marvel. But more recently, mostly like The Acolyte. Like apparently the Acolyte was promised to be huge. And God, was it not. Yeah.
Yeah, it was huge in a negative way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And let me tell you what,
it was great for YouTube. It was terrible for Disney.
Yeah. And they sold Skeleton Crew in the same fashion. So my point to the audiences out there is that as much as you, like a lot of people seem to be saying that this show is pretty good or they're enjoying it or wherever the case may be, but just like Andor, the audience ain't there.
Yeah.
And it's killing Disney.
Yeah.
It is killing Disney Plus.
I said this earlier because Pro was talking about this on his show. I was on his show earlier today, VR, and I said, follow the money. That's always what you got to do. You want to know if something's popular, something's being watched, follow the money. They can gaslight us as much as they want to and say, Skeleton Crew had this many millions of viewers in its first, X amount of days, or, same thing with The Acolyte, same thing with this Marvel show or that thing. And it's like, okay, that sounds good. But what are the advertisers saying? Because they're the ones that are throwing their money into the tank for these numbers that you claim are legitimate numbers. They say this, but they gaslight us. And so if you hear that, the advertisers are pulling their money and they're walking away, that tells me everything I need to know. I could care less what Disney tells me any longer. I'm looking at, follow the money.
That's it.
Show me the money. And the money right now, because the dollars don't lie. Okay.
DA,
if this was this popular, why are the advertisers leaving?
Yeah.
DA, let me make it worse for you. And here's something I didn't even talk about in my video. So here's a little VR Echo Base exclusive. Y'all clip this, put it out in a video tomorrow.
Yeah, Nick.
What makes it, yeah, Nick, do your job, jackass. Like for one time in the 7 years y'all been on YouTube. No, seriously.
I did not say anything, Nick.
I
was
know,
not
no,
involved.
you prompted it. You don't even have to. Don't give me this crap. No,
Set it
here's
up, Coke.
no, seriously. Here's the deal, though. Da, you're right. Netflix, in their last earnings call, reported that over half of their new subscribers to Netflix, of which they had nearly 8 million, were for the ad-based tier. Disney right now would be on their knees doing something sexually abusive to get that kind of number, okay? And here's the worst part is that when DAS, Disney ad sales, were laying off a lot of their senior executives, the people that had the most experience, the most connections to the most lucrative advertisers, because, hey, we're going to go to automation. Hey, we're going to go to DEI. Hey, blah, blah, blah. Guess where a lot of these dudes went? Amazon,
Paramount.
Netflix. And guess who is tearing it up right now with ad sales for streaming? Amazon and Netflix. Guess who is dying? Disney.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is amazing right now what is going on behind the scenes that Disney is deliberately not talking about, what Disney is keeping secret, because if they had to tell the truth, they would also, in tandem, and this is the point, they would have to admit the abject freaking failures of Marvel and Star Wars on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
We saw new numbers today from Nielsen, the streaming share, YouTube at the top, followed by Netflix, and you look at Disney Plus, 1.9%. You look at all these. If you took Bluey, a product that Disney doesn't own, if you took Bluey off of Disney Plus right now would
It's
be
probably the worst streaming service
they
out
would
there.
be losing to Peacock, and they would be losing to Paramount Plus.
And Paramount Plus has got some awesome shows on there.
Paramount Plus is dominating right now, man.
Yeah,
They had four of the top 10 slots on Luminate this week, and all four of the shows were Taylor Sheridan shows,
Yeah.
and none of them was Yellowstone.
Yep.
So you're saying Taylor Sheridan should buy Lucasfilm?
Yeah. I would be happy.
Taylor, let me tell you
Let's start a
wait,
rumor.
if Taylor
It could get
Sheridan-
worse.
Yeah, no, you're right, Payne. Taylor Sheridan.
I'm making
could
a video tomorrow. Taylor Sheridan buying Lucasfilm.
Let's start
Tell you
this.
what, wait. Hear me out.
It
hear me
started
out.
here on EBN.
Yeah.
Hear me out. If Taylor Sheridan bought Star Wars, and instead of Tatooine, we got Midland, Texas as the setting,
Yeah.
he would have 10 million people watching that on week 1.
Yeah.
So I think the only hope that we have right now as an original Star Wars fan is that one day, kind of like what Netflix does with so many of the big shows that they've made, Stranger Things, they license it out, and other people are going to start making Star Wars.
Yeah.
They flirted with it when they did the knee pain. They did the animated. What was that? Visions.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with the anime studios.
Yeah.
Like legit Tokyo pedigree animation studios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing right now that could save Star Wars, because they're not going to sell it. License it out and let other people start making it.
Yeah. And if those people are bringing in the viewership and the money in merchandise and the shows and all that sort of stuff, advertisers, all that, then those people get to keep keep making stuff. You know, and if they fail,
Yep.
then freaking Disney's like, all right, you're done.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I
guys,
guess
you've
that's
gotta
the
get
best thing
people
we
who
could hope
care.
for.
You have to get people in who actually care. And yeah, like all joking aside, is Taylor Sheridan like a Star Wars guy? He might be. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. But I would far rather trust a guy like Taylor Sheridan to take something as magnanimous as Star Wars, because I suspect, just as he does with everything that he touches, he will treat it with respect.
yeah.
The problem is that that's not what Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm wants, and we just saw that. Why the hell do you think Stephen Knight left, like everybody else? Because a guy like Stephen Knight is exactly the same kind of guy as Taylor Sheridan. That's a capable, talented, brilliant writer that has a passion for what he does, that was hired to do a job, but in the case of Stephen Knight was probably prohibited from doing the job he wanted to do and said, screw this.
Well,
I'm
and
going to
more
go
and
back
more
and finish
adequate
Peaky
people.
Blinders. Yeah.
More and more adequate people are going to say no. I don't. Yeah, going to work for Lucasfilm is a resume destroyer
Oh yeah.
at this point.
I've been saying that for a while.
Unless you're Charmin Obaid-Chinoy, where this is the biggest paycheck that you've ever gotten in your life, and you'll be more than happy to bring in your radical feminist agenda and do whatever you're told to do.
And her project's not even probably going to even happen now.
I don't think it'll ever happen.
Doubtful. Yep.
Yeah.
Nick, take us home, man.
Yeah. Quick question though. Well, real quick, Valiant Renegade for 20. Here's 20 for staying on and amusing me. Now the rest of y'all. super
Somebody
chat.
super chat for keeping
Yeah.
them up.
Hey, DA has to go, and so do I.
Yeah, I do. Too.
I had a quick question for Knee Pain though. It was real quick. Knee Pain, did you hear a lot about viewership numbers and all that when you were working on Rebels? Were you guys paying attention to that, or was that like a weekly thing? Like when episode, like, oh man, we got this many viewers, and
You know, all the shows I worked on, Clone Wars through Rebels and the TV show Grind, you don't really think about it. The only one we ever like looked at numbers because it was going bad was like Strange Magic, but that actually turned out the way we all thought it was going to turn out. So
You didn't
I
have
don't
to
know.
worry about numbers because you knew they were good with Clone Wars and Rebels. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
honestly, you're kind of getting renewed. Didn't really think about it at the time. So at the time too, it still felt like Star Wars had a spine,
yeah,
right? To stand on its own.
yep, definitely,
Yeah, those were two good series.
yep, yeah. A lot of people liked them, but all right, guys. DA, where can people find you? You got Nightcap going on tonight?
Yeah, I'm gonna do the nightcap. I gotta run and grab something before I get to it. But that'll be coming up probably 9 my time. So I'm not sure where you got 11 your time, probably.
Yeah, 11.
Yeah, we'll just be
Central.
recapping the Skeleton Crew, just like we just did right now. And then I'll be, dropping some more videos tomorrow. So yeah, that's what's going on for me tonight. So you guys hang out with us on the nightcap. It's coming up.
Yeah.
Every
9
time I
o'clock
hear
in about an
DA talk about he's going to go do the nightcap, I feel like I'm going into a sleazy massage parlor.
Oh yeah, that's what it's all about, baby.
Well, it depends who's on the show, but yeah.
He's saying he knows what's up. He's always in the chat.
the audience?
Well, he's a
All right,
West
guys,
Coaster
later
out
on.
there
I'll see
with
you guys
you.
later.
He's
All
up
right,
at
there.
that time.
Yeah, yeah. Valiant,
Yeah.
what do you
All
got
right, peace
going
out.
on coming
Bye,
up?
chat.
See you there.
Later.
Yeah.
See you, DA. Got to get you back on. No, just stay. We'll have a great show tomorrow night. We're going to be doing a full breakdown on DEI tomorrow in the live show. Kersha is finally going to be there. A lot of people joke about her like she's some ditzy VTuber. She's really not. Kersha is really one of the most brilliant, most well-versed, well-read, most intelligent YouTubers I've ever met, especially when it comes to Bridge and DEI. And there's so much great news this week breaking down on that. We're gonna cover it regarding Disney, Hollywood, politics, industry, everything else. It's gonna be a hell of a lot of fun tomorrow night on the Vixen Show.
Hey, Valiant, have you seen that video that came out a couple weeks ago called, it's by Morning Brew, called Making a Fake Movie to Understand Hollywood's Shady Accounting?
No.
I'll link that to you on X. It came out 2 weeks ago. It's already got 1 million views. It's great. It's about
look-
like a nine minute
All right,
video.
DM
Yeah,
it to me.
yeah. Link
Yeah.
that to me too. I'd like to check that out.
Yeah, I'll drop
Yeah,
that
definitely.
next.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us. Nick hates everything but likes Clone Wars. I didn't even watch Clone Wars, Junk Man. I saw a couple episodes. I saw season 1 and a couple episodes of season 7 that were pretty good. But
Nick has an Omega fleshlight.
yeah, no, but Rebels, I loved Rebels. Rebels was really good. That I
Clone Wars
enjoyed.
is far superior to Rebels.
Well, see, I haven't watched all of Clone Wars, so I wouldn't know. But
And
I really
I'm
enjoyed
the only one that watched Detours. He ain't missing shit.
All right.
guys.
Well, that's going to do it for us. Thanks for being here. And we will see you guys Thursday night where we'll have member pop-ins for our master level members where you guys can jump in and chime in. Thanks to Valiant for all your support and jumping in, and to Knee Pain for jumping in. And we will see you guys Thursday night. Bye, guys.
Later.
Thanks, bye.
Coach and Nick from Echo Base Network, thank you so much for being here with us tonight at Echo Base TV, where community happens.
Oh man, that was fun, but it was so gay.
Yay!
Got to check that box.
Oh, did I have my mic on? DEI is great.
Hit the unmute button, Knee Pain. Hit the unmute button. Let them know you're here.
So, Coach, tell us again about that Goonies tattoo you got drunk a couple years ago.
I have nothing to say.
Nick doesn't like it when I slap his ass.
That
Hey,
is true.
Valiant, did you know that the Goonies
He
is a
only gets
horrible
mad when
movie?
you're quoting Harry Potter. Come on.
Harry Potter is way better than freaking Goonies.
I fantasize about McGonagall.
Ugh.